All right, let's go to Greg Valliere on that. We've got United Capital CEO Joe Duran. Joe, do they go the currency route? In other words, devalue their currency, because with only about $100 billion worth of imports in the U.S., it's not shabby, but there's only so much oomph you can respond to.
Well, I'm not sure that's the path they would take, because it has a much broader impact on their whole economy. So I think what you might see is that they would attack U.S. corporations, make it harder for Apple to sell any products, make it hard for Ford to sell cars. Yeah. So they put pressure on the companies. The way to think about this really is we've gone from a $20 billion tariff, I consider it a tax, that consumers and businesses are paying. It's expanding to $50 billion. And if the Trump administration then expands it, we're going to go to $130 billion. That starts to really affect things. You know, it's different at 20. Going to 50 is okay. And if our president decides to really expand it, $130 billion of expanded costs, that's hard to just ignore. And I think the pressure is the president's trying to make the U.S. manufacturers question whether they should do more work with China or just work around them. And that takes longer to impact.
It does take longer. Let me ask you,
higher costs.
Got it. Greg Valliere, we're getting a report from Bloomberg that the vice premier also said that of the talks, they went fairly well. So you have our Treasury Secretary Mnuchin calling them constructive. This guy sounds like my dad used to say when he would look at my report card and say, well, you're going into the next grade. You haven't been left back, but whatever. And I'm wondering if that's an interesting divergence, isn't it? Obviously, he has a more jaded view of what happened. So what do you think of that?
It's a bad story, Neil. I mean, I'm a glass half full guy, I think, like you, but it's awfully hard to see a lot of silver linings here. Look, Donald Trump can spin better than anybody can spin. But for him to say this is a good story for the U.S., I mean, be serious. It's not a good story for farmers. It's not a good story for small businesses. I think this is obviously not a good story for the markets. And
but Greg, think about this. He comes back and says, from the very beginning, when I first went after China, all the market averages are up. He's right about 5% on average with all averages. Secondly, he says, if we're so devastated by the actions I've taken, look at what's happened to the markets. Look what's happened on all these economic numbers that show record low unemployment rates for almost every major group, including the general U.S. population. If that's a problem, if this has been deleterious, it has a funny way of showing it. You say?
Well, I just say this briefly. I think this could take the U.S. economy from very good to just good. We're not headed for recession. We're not headed for a growth of 1%. But it takes a real strong economy and takes the edge off.
All right, Joe, what do you think of that? We go from very good to good.
I don't agree necessarily. I actually think this week's market action, while it never feels good to lose 3 to 5%, I think it's remarkably resilient. You know, I look at the fact that we'd had this huge run-up, $8 billion going to Uber, and frankly, what should have been a very negative week, given the run-up that we've had with no correction. And I actually feel pretty good about how modest the market reaction is, seeing how far apart the two sides appear to be.
But Joe, flip that around. Could I flip that around to Greg's point that maybe the market is kind of whistling past the graveyard? Maybe it is refusing to see the very real possibility that, unlike prior tariffs that have been in effect on a relatively small number of goods, and they were at 10% anyway, and most of them were absorbed by businesses and their Chinese supplier to limit the damage, you can't do that at 25%. That gets to be more problematic. And the wave of goods affected everywhere from shampoo to processed foods to even deodorant. The deodorant one scared me because I thought, whoa, if people just stop using deodorant, that's a national crisis. But your thoughts on that? Not the deodorant thing.
Well, I agree with you. You're absolutely, it could get a lot worse. I think the market still believes that this is a negotiating ploy and that we've got a couple of weeks and the president is just trying to put pressure. The thing that he has to remember is he has to give everybody a win. And the Chinese want to show that they won, and the U.S. wants to show they won. And it would be helpful if he thought about, how do I construct something that we can both claim that we had victory? Because at the end of the day, it's in nobody's interest.
Well, I don't know if he cares about how the Chinese feel, or he wouldn't put them on the spot with the hiking of the tariff on all these other goods. He was impatient, I get that. But there's no way they can save face from that. So Greg Valliere, while it might have been appropriate and understandable given his frustration that is the president's with this process, he might, with the best of intentions, doomed himself right there.
There's a chance that we could get really serious structural reforms out of China by taking a hard line, but there's also a risk, Neil, that the U.S. farm sector, which is already in a recession, could wind up in a depression.
All right, we'll see. That might be extreme, but we'll take a look at it here. We are getting a lot of email on this subject, I should point out. Gentlemen, I want to thank you both.